Let's make my Fletch Fire Quilt pattern using 10-inch squares. For today's video, I will be making the throw size quilt measuring at 48 inches by 56 inches. This pattern is available as a free PDF pattern in 5 quilt sizes, baby, throw, twin, queen, and king, which I will link down below in the video's description. For the fabrics, I am using Homebody by Maureen Cracknell for Art Gallery Fabrics. Now let's get started. Take 21 10-inch squares and subcut them into 4 5-inch squares. With the remaining 10-inch squares, trim them down to an 8.5-inch squares. Now save these scraps because later on I will have other projects that you can use these for. That way nothing will go to waste. Next, with your 5-inch squares, select 2 different print fabrics, 2 of each print, and with the lighter fabric on the wrong side, draw a 45-degree line with a fabric marking tool. Next, place them right sides together and sew a 1/4-inch seam allowance on both sides of that line you just drew. And then afterwards, with a rotary cutter or a pair of fabric scissors, cut on the 45-degree line that you drew and press your half square triangles open. Then go ahead and square them to a 4.5-inch square. With those 4.5-inch squares, form the block below by creating 2 flying geese quilt blocks. Sew the blocks together into rows, and lastly, sew the rows together to complete a 8.5-inch square. You'll repeat this step until you have 21 quilt blocks. Now that all of your blocks are complete, take the blocks that you made and also the print 8.5-inch squares and lay your blocks out by alternating between the two. For the odd rows, point the arrows to the left, and for the even rows, point the arrows to the right. For the throw size, lay your blocks out in a 6x7 block layout. Then, as always, sew your blocks together to form rows, and lastly, sew the rows together to complete your quilt top. And here is what my Fletch Fire Quilt looks like all finished. For the backing, I am using a print from the same collection. Then for the thread choice, I am going with glide threads in the color mauve. And here is what my quilt looks like all quilted out. For my Longarm quilters, I chose Fabulous Feathers from Urban Elements, which I will link down below in the video's description. This is one of my all-time favorite quilt patterns. You can pretty much use it for just about everything. But once again, this pattern is available as a free PDF in 5 quilt sizes, baby, throw, twin, queen, and king. I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.